You know what I'm saying? All right. So, all right, we'll just hop into it. What's up, everybody? It's DJ GreenSkull, aka MCKG, the GreenSkull podcast. Today I got our two-row. We got poet, time traveler, and anarchy. What's up, bro?
Yeah, what's up, Gabriel? Thank you so much for having me on. Um, Big fan of your music, of all the creative things you do, and thanks for inviting me on.
Yeah, bro. Well, I mean, likewise, man. Like, I think when I first met you, man, it was in Coachella, but where's that? We were doing like a poetry slam.
Yeah, I remember I saw you at the Hue in Mecca. I don't know if you remember
Oh,
you were.
the Huey, yeah. I
Yeah,
remember the
because
Huey.
I do a lot of like poetry events and stuff out there, and so I
Yeah.
remember I saw you go on, and
Oh man, the Hue. I love the
yeah.
Hue, but I just felt like my performance was not the best that time.
Well, it was in the afternoon, it wasn't even like a small crowd. Like people were just walking by. But what's cool, what I
Yeah.
always like was that like whatever you do, dude, you always like give it your all. You're like you don't care if
Yeah.
it's like three people or like hun.
Yeah,
So
I have to keep it the same energy every time, you know? Like like yeah, that's the philosophy. Like I'm sure like when I seen you do your spoken word, even though there's not a lot of people or there is a lot of people, you say it the way you're and perform it the way you do it and it's 100% every time. It's not just the oh, it's only three people. Let me half-ass it today. Like, nah, you
yeah,
know?
exactly. I think what's cool, especially when it comes to like spoken word messages, whether it be like poetry or rap or any artistry, is like it's quality, right? It's like I must speak this message, and for those that are here, like if you hear it, then it was meant for you. If it resonated with you, it's because you had to hear it at that time. So it's like I always try to go into it like you don't know who your words will touch this time, or and so
Oh, yeah. And I think sometimes I feel like when people go and make decisions to, let's say, go see spoken word or go see a hip hop artist or something like that, I feel like sometimes when you're there in person and live, it can be a way better experience. But I also feel like it's you're more open to being inspired or being touched by certain things by just being there. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of like okay, you listen to this song and it doesn't really it resonates, but it's not like oh my god. And then you
yeah,
go
because it's
and
just
see
like
it live.
audio.
Yeah, you go see it live and it feels different. I don't know, it's pretty weird.
That's true because I think there's a a human element to it. It's like when you feel the presence of when someone's like actually like I don't know. Sometimes they even be like you make eye contact with the crowd.
Yeah,
And so it's true, dude. Like I've gone like as much as I like reciting poems or like even verse. Sometimes I like rap. Like, it's funny because when I first got into writing, I was thinking like, oh yeah, like I make like poetry has to rhyme. Everything has to rhyme
oh
all the
yeah,
time, at nickel and dime. And
for
so it was
real.
um, but it got more into. But if it felt like I was writing a rap, like every time it had to be a rap. And then after a while, I got into the idea of like it is really content. It is really like there's this like the way people speak. It has a cadence, like a
Yeah,
dance kind of, like a dun 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 dun. So
yeah. That's how I remember seeing you perform the first time. I think it was at Raíces.
yeah, my
Yeah,
sister used to do open mics.
yeah, man, that was so cool. I always look forward to just going over there because well, I try to go as many times as I can, but like at that time, my work schedule and stuff. But I just liked it because I feel like when everyone was there, because it wasn't always like a big crowd, it was like, you know, a
Yeah,
smaller crowd. But I feel like everybody was kind of a-okay with how everything was going. Like I didn't feel judged. I didn't feel, you know, like there's some rapper stuff in me. Like if I messed up, right? Like if I fucked up in my rap or whatever, then in my chest, I'm like, oh, you fucking, you suck, you know. But I never felt like that, like by the crowd. I never felt like the crowd was like, oh, this guy's ass. Like it was all real supportive, so I thought that was cool. But
yeah,
when I saw you, I think that was when I saw you the first time, like doing your thing, or maybe the first time was like. COD because I attended a tons of poetry slams, so I don't really know, but um, that's what
Yeah,
I
we've
noticed
seen
about
each other
you
in the art
too.
scene, like just different places, different pop ups. I remember you were there too.
Yeah, going all around. But yeah, I mean, as far as like seeing you, that's when I started thinking to myself because my friend Trey told me about you. Um, he was at the poetry slam. I think he won like $100 or something.
Trey, yeah. I heard him doing poetry slam. Yeah,
Yeah, I wasn't there that day. I was trying to go because I wanted to compete with the homie, but now I couldn't make it because work and stuff. But yeah, he was telling me he was like, dude, it was fun and all that stuff. But but yeah, like when I saw you, I remember seeing how you did everything and how everything was like delivered because it wasn't just like rhyming. Obviously, some things weren't rhyming, but they weren't rhyming for a reason, and like you found it out as you were going, and then you kept. It was weird, like you were rapping without rapping, but I mean, what
yeah.
rapping technically speaking, like it's
That's
just
what the
so weird.
cadence. You know, it's a lot of people, especially like rappers, have that too. But it's that's something I realized. It's like to put emphasis on the like 'cause it's all. I feel like I'm a big lyricist. You know, like every time I listen to like Cole or Kendrick or like one of my favorite rappers got to be like Idea and Abilities. I don't know if you've heard of them.
Oh yeah, idea and abilities. Yeah,
Yeah. So it's
Beats,
this
right?
idea, this emphasis on lyricism, you know, on like how the words are they come together, and I was just like, whoa, there's like a whole message, and I was just like, it's I don't know how to put it, but it's like I've gotten to in poetry, it's so there's this thing in alchemy. Let me jump real quick.
All right.
Which is like the extracting of essence. Like when you get essential oils or something, or like in order to make like I don't know if you know if you've seen like rose oil or whatever. Like they get like a whole bunch of roses, like petals, and like they extract like they like compress it and they put it into like the solution or whatever, and they get like this much out of the all these petals, and so
Damn.
like this much essential oil, like so that's kind of what it is. It's like you're getting all this fluff and you're like extracting like they say less is more, which is
Okay.
like concentrated. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what I've been trying to do with words to like to refine it. Because sometimes like I go back, I write something and then I'm like, I could say this better, you know, or it doesn't
Yeah.
need so many words.
I think also a lot of the stuff that at least from what I remember when you were performing, I guess your spoken word, right? Or like a poem. Um,
Yeah.
a lot of it flew over my head, to be honest, because I feel like it was so intricate. Like I don't know, I think some things, like obviously the face value you can catch pretty easily, but the ones that are like deeper, um, yeah, a lot of those just flew like. But still, it was
Yeah.
still cool, man. I remember all that.
Thank you.
Especially, I seen a couple people like man, I felt kind of bad because I remember seeing a kid. He went up, um, did the open mic. He failed, I guess. At least that's what he thought. And
Uh,
he was just so hard on himself, and he like walked outside, and I was like, what the heck, like, dude, it's not 8 Mile, bro. It's just fun.
yeah, dude. It's I think that's kind of what it is. It's like especially I mean when I went to open mics and races, it was this idea of like creating an artist community. So, I mean, it's before COVID, right? But
Yeah,
it was like it's definitely a community of like building support, and like we're all on our way, you know, like we haven't made it, and I don't think there's ever an it to make. It's just always improving, always, and it's like a lot of people feel like I have to make it and then you can't make it, but it's like nah, dude, we can all make it together. It's like help lifting each other up instead of bringing other
yeah,
people down. Like what comes around goes around, so it's like the more you put out there, the more, you know what I mean.
yeah. It's really hard, like, because there's more people that are like that. Like, there's more people that are like, I need to make it and I don't want no one else to make it, than the ones who are like supporting each other. At least that's what I've got from the local scene. Like, I don't know how you feel, because like obviously I'm in like the rapper ego shit. I'm on the ego
Yeah.
side of the scene, but I don't know how you feel about the local scene as far as like the poems, the spoken word, and the rap.
Yeah, because I've met into a few poets, and it's true because I mean I was trying to get into rap for a bit, but I was like, man, there is a lot of ego, and now it's also because I feel
Tons.
like because there is a healthy ego. You know what I mean? There
Yeah,
is a
definitely.
way to feel good about yourself, your persona, your character you've made, and it's like to be proud of it, dude. It's like fuck yeah, this is who I am, this is who I'm becoming, and it is definitely like creating a brand, creating your own image. And I feel a lot of people, and this is I don't know, over my use of like drugs, psychedelics. It's this idea of like we become so attached to this image we've created, that like we feel attacked when we feel other people outshine us, instead of like giving props where props is due and being like, yo, dude, that shit was dope, we should collab. Which is that's something I see you doing a lot, like even reaching out to other artists or even to me, and it's like it's
Yeah.
really cool how like yeah, it doesn't have to be like it's this Darwinism, very survival of the fittest, like I gotta eat,
Yeah.
and and it's like you're still taking from my food, but it's like nah, there's enough to go around,
Yeah.
and it's helping each other rather than like bringing each other down. So but
Yeah.
yeah, I definitely know what you're talking about, especially in the rap community. In the poetry community, I haven't seen it as much, especially because like I feel there's not so much of a need for competition, but it's more than anything as an artist, I feel like it's a need for self-expression, and having a
Yeah.
space to feel heard.
Yeah. So like with the poet community compared to the rap community, I can honestly only say that I've only like a lot of the poets that I know, they're not public like a lot of the rappers that I know.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So I think
not like a
maybe that
poetry game.
yeah,
It's like yo, you
yeah,
got to get in this game, yo.
yeah. Like there's never like the homies, including girls that just do poems and stuff. They're really not out there. Like they don't really like it's funny because they don't know other poets. It's
Yeah,
pretty weird.
I mean, I wouldn't say in the closet, but it's very like people like writing in themselves or to their journal because it's a very personal thing.
Yeah,
Like after it took me a while before I was like, I like what I say and I want other people to hear it.
yeah. How
And
long did
it's
that
like,
take you?
man, I must have been in college because I was writing since high school. That's
Oh,
when I really got into like it was during my emo phase. I was like, we were talking about this like when I was a skater and like, hey, you a
skate
rocker
life,
fool?
skate life.
But legit, I was going through like a lot of stuff. I'm like, is God even real? Does he
Oh
even
yeah,
care about
yeah.
me?
I
you
feel
know?
like everybody goes through that phase, you know? Like you start questioning things, and I don't think questioning things is a bad thing. I think sometimes people make you feel like it is, but I think it's just natural. I think at a certain age, at least from me and like most of my friends, like we've talked about it. Like at a certain age, you get to the point where you're like, yeah, I was taught this about God, I was taught this about God, and then, but low key, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like
I don't
you
know.
don't know.
That's the best fucking.
For real. You don't know, man. It's crazy. But
Mm.
I don't know, religion is weird. Like I don't know if you practice religion, but I personally don't. I just I believe in a higher power, but I don't believe in like I guess going to church.
Yeah. I mean, I used to actually. But it's funny that you bring it up because when I was going through that phase, like this whole questioning God, like I call it agnostic, is because my parents were very religious, or like back in the day, we like I was part of a church youth group. I was playing guitar
Oh,
there. Had
yeah, I
to go
get
to
you.
church every Wednesday because that's when we met. And so I read the Bible a lot, but I guess because I was learning about it so much that especially in school, I was like I was also questioning. I was like what do you mean? Like why is this? Some things don't add up.
Yeah.
And so I was asking questions, but then the church would get mad at me because I asked questions like, "You lack
That's what
faith." You know
that's
what I
what I'm
mean? And I'm like,
saying,
"Nah,
bro.
dude.
That's what
I'm
I'm
trying to
saying.
build it." And so,
Yeah.
but yeah, it got to a point where I was just like, "Why do you all hate certain groups of people? Like, didn't Jesus say love everyone?" And then they're
Yeah.
like, "Oh no, well they're not following the Bible, and you can't hang out with them." I'm like, "What do you
Exactly.
mean?"
I think
Yeah,
that's the only pushback, bro, as far as me and religion. Like, I've tried it out, bro. Like, I went to Christian, I went to Catholic, I've even went to like name it, bro. I even thought about going to like a satanic church just because I didn't know where the hell, like
Different
what was
beliefs,
what.
yo.
Yeah, like different beliefs, like Buddha, Muslim, like whatever. Um, but yeah, what I've found in most of them, I'm not gonna say all of them, but the most of them, as in like Catholic or Christian, they are. It's like that. What you just explained right now, it's like that. Like, oh, you question, oh, you're
You're a
sinning.
non-believer. You
Yeah, why
you're
are you
planting the
here?
seed of doubt. You're doing the devil's work.
Yeah, why
Yeah.
are you here, man?
And it's like, nah. I think, and this is, I think
So weird.
you're onto something. Same with school, dude. Like they ask you they teach you to ask questions to,
Oh
especially if
yeah.
you want to learn. And like we were talking about, is like there is a higher power. I feel same. I don't believe in like, I like right now I'm not religious. Like, oh, like I feel like there is like a communion with the high up, and like to be, it's like a personal connection. Like God is around us, but is also within us. So it's like to
Yeah.
tap into that universal source of energy, of creativity, of love that exists, that permeates all matter. And so it's
Dude, you explain things so well, bro.
yeah, because it talks about it in different religions, and it's a matter. It is really like honoring your being, like the whole idea of namaste. Like, because I tried going into like Taoism, Buddhism, Hinduism, and is the idea of like namaste is like I recognize the divine one in you is also in me, or like in la Quech is tú eres mi otro yo, which is like you are my other self, and is this acknowledgement of like because I love because I love you, I love me, and because I love me, it's this, you know what I mean? And it's
That's deep.
yeah, these are all like I love learning, man. Like that's what it is. It's like always keeping an open mind and open heart to like the energies around us, to other artists, to other people, and then even if you don't see eye
Yeah,
to eye originally, like we come from the same earth.
for
So
real. It's funny, like you say, the same Earth, because like I remember listening to Joe Rogan podcast. I don't know if you listen to Joe Rogan's podcast.
yeah.
But he explained that he feels like everyone should leave Earth to realize what it feels like. Like for example, one of the astronauts went to outer space, right? He was up there
Mhm.
for I think like 6 months, and when he came back, his perspective, that was the first time. His perspective was, I'm from California, let's just say, right? I'm from California. And then he went to space for like 6 months, came back down, and he had to land, I think, like in Russia or somewhere else. And he said, like, his family told him, oh, why aren't you, when can you come home? When can we see you? All that stuff. And he said, what do you mean? I am home. So, like, you get what I'm trying to say? Like,
It
he,
became
he, it
you zoom
became,
out.
yeah, you zoom out to where, like, you're like, California and the United States is just not my home. Like the Earth is my home. So like he became closer to just everybody. Like he was more open to the world. Like it was so weird the way he explained it, and I was like, dude, that makes so much sense. Maybe some people do need to get off the planet to realize, like, yo, you don't need to hate the people across the water just because of whatever.
Even it's funny because like I said, thinking about that even like in the valley, you know what I mean? Like it's such a small valley, and even
Yeah,
when I was younger, I'd always see like this difference of like I'm from the East End, which I mean, there's a lot of social political like details, but
yeah,
ultimately it's like we are in one valley. And it's like once you step out of valley or once you step out of California, and it's funny you took it to the whole like to the world.
yeah,
Like once you step out of something, once you like what broaden your horizons or whatever, like you when you come back, the world seems smaller. When you come back, the like wow, because I'm originally from Mecca, right? And so I'm like wow, little old Mecca town, And so I'm like there's all these like larger cities and all these other places, and so when it comes to this idea of home, it's just like I just grew up with other people around me that we share the same like culture, language. We grew up around the same
yeah.
places, so we have a lot more in common. But like when we see outside of our small circle of influence, we start realizing that like we're not so different. You know what I mean? And then it's like how we instead of looking for the things that divide us, we start looking for the things that bring us together. And I guess it's just shifting that perspective because between like stranger, like when you see like new, most people, there's this thing called xenophobia, which is what a lot of xeno means like strange or new, and phobia, fear. So when people are afraid of strangers or afraid of, and this is where
Mm,
like the fear of immigrants or a fear of like new places, new people come from. So like whenever they see an outsider or somebody that's not in a village or a tribe, it's very like, oh, they're the enemy, we must take them out. And instead of like,
okay.
whoa, these people are, refugees or going through something in their life, instead of having that empathy, we immediately put up our walls to defense. And so it's
Dang.
it's a shift in like our consciousness, but it's also like a shift in our heart.
Yeah.
So it's a very uh, broadening our horizons, looking outside of just our small circle, and
For
making those
real.
connections. And I feel like that's what
Yeah.
we're doing right now.
For real. Man, you just made me remember I read a book called The Fingerprints of the Gods.
Hey,
I don't know
yeah,
if you
yeah,
ever
yeah.
heard have you heard of that book? It's a pretty good book.
Yeah, yeah, like the DNA,
Yeah.
like the
It's
phi
so cool.
ratio.
Yeah, like it talks about like I guess like the quickest summary is just like okay, here's the earth and this civilization is doing let's say they have a wheel already and they invented the wheel and then like they're trying to travel because they don't know what's beyond, right? And then they meet this civilization and comes with your perspective thing that you were talking about like they both didn't even know they existed. These people thought we're it, we're this nothing else, it's just us. And then they travel and they meet these people and instead of like hey we could help each other they started trying to kill each other, or sometimes like they didn't even know like okay if I go too far north or whatever it gets super cold, we didn't know that, we didn't prepare, and then they die. And it's like
Yeah,
it's pretty crazy. And a lot of the civilizations they explain like they became allies because of these people fell in love with these people's women, and like then like it went to like the higher king type stuff, and they're like oh it's okay now, everyone's good. It's kind of weird like the perspective between like we need to survive, we need to eat, or we can just help each other out.
yeah.
It's really weird.
I, I think about that too a lot, and it's kind of funny because like I like to think that we're I like to think that we're human, like because we have that frontal lobe. But like it's crazy because I don't know. I love studying because we have a brain, and like the frontal lobe is all like this mammalian part of the brain. But at the beginning, there's a stem part of our brain, which is the reptilian brain, and so that controls you know food, like our hunger, survival, sex drive, and so it's all comes from our reptilian brain, which is this idea of like being, it's and so that's where I feel like a lot of fear comes from, also, or this idea of dominance or possession. Man, I have these conversations with a lot of people about like the patriarchy and like domination and men feeling like, oh, like mine. And
Yeah.
but it really goes into like fear versus love, or like, and it makes sense because sometimes like as humans, as we're going back to this Darwinism, Darwin's theory, right? The whole idea of like survival of the fittest,
Yeah.
evolution wise, like you have to, only those born with the most stronger traits evolved and their lineage carried on while the weaker ones died off, kind of
Yeah.
thing. And I feel like that's gotten us into a state of competition, even in the rap game. the state of
Huge competition.
the idea of competition is like there's only so much, and if I eat, you can't, or like I gotta take care of. And it makes sense. This tribal idea of like I gotta take care of me and my own, and I believe I see that to an extent, but I feel like it's still our reptilian brain, and I feel like there's a like our consciousness is the idea of like our frontal lobe, which allows us to make connections and to meet with other people and to share tools, share resources, share knowledge, and be like, hey, it gets cold up here. If you kill a mammoth, you can wear their clothes, huh? And so it's like we sharing this information because wanting good for others, or like and it's how do we grow out of our um, reptilian or like Darwinism, trying to like just hold on to ourselves and to open up the doors and be like, how can I be a betterment to humanity? Even this idea of fire, right? I don't know if the story of Prometheus. He he's like he goes to the gods and he steals the fire and then he brings it down to the people. And so he stole fire from the gods, you know.
All right, what a
And
savage!
I know, dude. Fucking the gods were all pissed. They're like, what the fuck?
Like,
They're
yo,
like,
who
no,
took
this
that?
bro, we had fire right there. We got this new album. The shit was fire, and they took it.
For real,
But
that's funny.
the fire can be spread. You pass it on, and it's like it's not just one source of fire. It's like from the one flame you can light like thousands of candles,
Yeah,
and recognizing that it becomes more when it's shared rather than like just holding it, you know.
yeah,
And so it's like, how do you open up the pit?
for real. I feel like it. I feel like fire could symbolize like inspiration as far as like because you lit the fire on something and then like people get inspired, and it could be like good and bad, you know.
Ooh, true. Because
It could
knowledge
be
can be used for both evil and good, you know?
yeah. I mean like you've seen like everything. Like I'm sure you've seen the news about like COVID and like maybe some things haven't been explained correctly or maybe everyone's misconstrued. Like there's a mask, no mask. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah. And
crazy.
I feel like that's what the higher up, what's it called? Elites. It's the idea of division because people that are divided are easy to control. Like, have them fight against themselves rather than targeting the real enemy, which is the corporations, because they're the ones fucking that are like, oh no, everybody, we gotta be we gotta stay inside, we gotta be in safe. But Walmart's open and like all these other big chains are open while the small businesses are suffering. I don't know.
Failing.
It gets,
Yeah,
but like you can if you follow the money, you see where the corruption goes, you know,
yeah.
and it's like,
It's really crazy when you think about it. Like, man, this is like no one's lived through this unless like I guess you were born during the flu era, I guess. But
yeah.
this is um our first pandemic. You know what I'm saying? So it's pretty
Our
weird.
first, there's gonna be a third one later on.
I mean, I hope not, but I mean, no one thought this would have ever happened. So then, like it happened. So here we are. But like when you said like places are closing, that's really sad. Like people work their whole lives to get like a restaurant going, right? And then
Mm.
like they have to close, and then they can't keep paying the bills because there's no government funding, and then they lose it. But come on, man! Like the lockdown, I feel like the lockdown wasn't even a lockdown. Like it doesn't feel like it at all. Like they're like, oh, we're going under lockdown, and everyone started buying toilet paper, and I'm just like, bro, Walmart's still open. You can still go buy a car. You can still. There's so many things, and it's just unfair for, like you said, like the mom and
Small
pop shops.
businesses,
Yeah,
yeah,
small
mom and pop
businesses
shops that
like
couldn't
failed
couldn't stay.
because yeah, like how come they get to stay open? It don't make no sense. But it really didn't feel like a lockdown. I think a real lockdown would be like something they did like in the UK or
Yeah,
like
they
stay
legit
home. Like
closed all the stores. You
yeah,
know,
like you can't leave. Only one person could leave and stuff like that. Like I think that's a real lockdown because like when they said there was a lockdown here, everyone was all scared, and I was like, dude, tell you right now, nothing is gonna look different besides small businesses are gonna fail. That's pretty much it.
I think it was part of the plan though. Like they want they. It's like if how can I don't know how to put it other than like they don't want people to be self-sufficient. They want people to be dependent upon. And but what I especially what I love about the internet is that like people have gone to like social media platforms and they've been able to start their own businesses at home. So even if they don't have a store, they still have like a product. They still have people have found ways of, I don't know how to put it, but rising above. So like there'll always be, I think, powers that be that'll like try to disempower humanity and like make us dependent upon like these larger corporations. But like the human spirit is strong, and like we will always find a way to um, como se dice, superar, to come up and to like. And especially, I don't know. That's what I love about the internet too. Is that like again, it's a tool that can be used for good and evil,
Yeah.
but it's the making of the connections, the small businesses supporting other small businesses. So even though like a lot of people have like unfortunately like been affected by this, um, there are other people that are have been able to I don't want to say like take advantage of it, but also have been able to turn their these negative circumstances and create positive out of it. You know, like bloom out of the mud. And
Yeah.
so it's definitely I don't know how to put it, but it's like a sweet and sour, bittersweet. And so
Yeah.
it's because I think the universe is like that, where it's not always all good and it's not always all bad. Like there's a it's really what we focus on, like our perspective, our lens that needs to change, where we can see that there is beauty in the chaos. And
Yeah.
so,
It's crazy, man. How was like the beginning of all this with you?
man, I well, right now I moved back in with my pops, but when I first started, I was living with some roommates, and yeah, we were pretty scared, so we kind of just stayed inside, and like
Oh, okay.
I like my job closed down because I worked at a restaurant, and so like everything just
Damn.
kind of closed, and I was like, man. Uh, so I had to find like sources of income. That's when I started. I had more time and energy, so I started channeling that energy. You know what I mean? So I started creating
Yeah.
more poetry. I started doing more because there's like depression sets in, man. Like when you feel like you can't go outside, you can't do anything. It's good to have like a support group around you. Like I'd always call up my sisters or like my aunt and like just to check up on them, see how they're doing. Like, and I
Yeah.
guess that's what it feels like, especially when you're in the darkness, when you feel like when you feel alone or when you feel like this overwhelming pressure. Sometimes it's like this, oh, woe is me. Like we forget that other people are going through that too, and instead of just letting that crush you, be like, I'm gonna reach out to people. I want to make sure other people are okay, because if you're going through that, for sure other people are too. You know. And so
Yeah, for real.
it became that thing of like don't just feel sorry for yourself, like check up on others.
Yeah, it was really weird. Like when this all first started, like I worked in the kitchen. I was a dishwasher,
Yeah,
and I guess you could say I was kind of a prep cook too. But
yeah, you're like training.
yeah, it was crazy because like my boss, they were mad at me because I was wearing a mask because I heard about it, right? Like I was like, this there's only a matter of time this virus is gonna get to the valley, so I'm gonna start wearing a mask because 2019 I got the flu and I got it pretty bad. So I was like, I'm not trying to get sick from whatever this new thing is, you know?
Yeah.
So then, yeah, I started wearing a mask to work. It was before masks were even a thing. Like no one was wearing a mask, and people were like the old people because I worked at a retirement home. So the old
Mm.
people they would be all scared of me, like, "Why are you coming to work sick?" You know, and I'm like, "I'm not sick. Like, there's just a virus going around." And yeah, man, they eventually let me go because I think partially because keep in mind it didn't even full on happen yet. Like the pandemic didn't set in yet.
Mm.
So they let me go because of I feel like because of the scaring people wearing a mask, I
The
guess.
mask.
Yeah, like something like that. Because even like the caregivers, they were like, "Whoa!" Like they would make fun of me, like, why are you wearing a mask? What are you scared of? And I'm just like, what do you mean? Like, like this is be real. It's scary. I think some people just wanted to like they didn't want it to happen, and of course I didn't want it to happen either. But it's like it legit scared me, bro. Because like I have health problems too, and like I know a lot of people that can't be exposed to certain things, and so yeah, at the beginning it was pretty scary, and I was like you. I got home and I was just like, well, I can channel my energy towards creative things now because I have more time, But then reality sets in, and you got to go back to work, and you have to come with the reality of I might get sick from someone coming to work sick or whatever, and it sucks, but it's just like what it is, I guess. It's crazy. COVID, so weird.
Yeah. Yeah. I know at first I didn't take it too seriously, but like now I've seen more because I do have family member that they have asthma or they have like they can easily get sick, and so it became more of like the best thing I could do for them is to take care of myself. You know, it's like to make sure you're
Yeah.
not spreading it or like being contagious. And like even there's like a podcast like over Zoom, I feel that's safe.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Like originally I was gonna try to do it in person because like I was gonna buy like plastic screens so we could have the microphone, and then I was like, well, what if I want to video it? But I mean, I think this is the most like safe as everyone can be, even on a podcast, obviously. But um, I didn't even realize how good Zoom was, to be honest. Like the connection, like we haven't clipped once since we've talked,
Nice.
and so that's why I never really like reached out to people via video call because I always thought because I've always been in a long distance relationship. So my girlfriend, we live together now, but she used to live in Arizona, so I used to hate video calls, bro. You know what I mean? Like I used to hate it so much, and like I would call like the homies or my girlfriend, and it just wouldn't work. So I just thought Zoom wasn't gonna work out, but I feel like maybe because of the pandemic, they got more funding or something. Because like now schools
Yeah,
are doing it
I feel like that's what it is. Like they started investing more into like 5G and to like improving the data signal because
for
everything legit went online. Like
for real.
man, which because I don't know, I wouldn't call myself a conspiracy theorist, but you know, I like doing research, and
Let's
it's the
hear it.
idea of like
Let's hear it.
why why would they like they it's part of the plan. They wanted everything to go online. They want everybody to be, and this is they don't want people to come together because ironically this whole pandemic started when there was like revolutions happening around the world. You know, people in China were like already revolting against their government, like even people in America and like Spain, like people were legit like trying to overthrow their government already. And then like people were outside you like coming together in the streets protesting, and and then all of a sudden, oh, everybody go home. You can't be outside, curfew. And so
Excuse me.
it became a very
Excuse
bless
me.
you.
Thank you. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries. It was just very. It seemed too. I want to call it auspicious, but it was just too much of a coincidence that like
Yeah, man.
it. And so, but it was cool is that people it hasn't stopped people. I mean, you know, coming together like or even protesting, but like at a safe distance. Is that again the human spirit is strong. That when you see injustice, it's not something to be silent about. It's something to raise an alarm. You know, even with the George Floyd, and so because that was around the
Yeah.
same time. You know, that was happening, and
Yeah,
then
bro.
boom, pandemic. It's like we're gonna stop all this, but like it didn't stop uh, people from
Yeah.
coming together and from still fighting for their rights, dude, and for like police injustice, fighting against the fucking corrupt system that is in place.
For
And
real.
it's like again, it's suppression. They want to suppress this, but you can't stop the awakening, man. I really feel like there is a higher vibration that is coming. We're in the age of Aquarius. The fifth dimension is coming in through. The sun is becoming more active, and so I recommend getting sunlight, drinking water. You know, it's
All the
like
good stuff.
yeah, dude, just natural remedies. Something I've noticed myself is because my friend just recently, like, he just got a PS5, right? So he like kicked down the PS4 to me. He's like, "Here you go," like fucking.
He's just like, here you go,
I'm like,
bro.
bro, this is a whole PS4, and it's like, nah, it's crumbs now.
It's like you're like, damn.
I mean, I guess you know,
Hey man,
but
PS4 held it down for all those years. You know what I'm
yo,
saying?
dude, and so I mean, I try not to. I'm not to consider myself a gamer, but I've definitely been spending a lot of time fucking playing Kingdom Hearts and shit.
I get
But I
you.
spend so much time on technology now that I realize there's these negative ions and positive ions, and so like when we spend a lot of time with technology, like we become positively charged, like radiation, um, and so I realized I have to become more grounded now, like because I spend so much time indoors or so much time surrounded by technology that I have to. Sometimes I like stepping outside or just putting my bare feet on the grass or like you
Yeah.
know what I mean. saying getting some sun rays like in the morning or in the afternoon, and just being reconnecting with the earth, like a literal, you know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
the earth is negatively charged. It's got a lot of negative ions, and so like that kind of stuff is good for our immune system, for our like it helps you like clear your airways, and yeah, just putting your bare feet on the ground fills you with negative ions. Negative ions are also in like the smell of rain, and like when you go to a forest, any place that's like natural. So sometimes we become overly positively charged by all the technology that we have to take a break from it to balance out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's just something I've realized, that like it also weakens your immune system if you spend so much time with technology, or like you know, electricity, radiation. So you want to disconnect
Yeah.
for a while.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know if you felt the same way I felt, but for some reason, man. All right, so before the pandemic, right? Before
Mm-hmm.
the pandemic, um, I'll be playing. I wasn't really too much into video games. I would just be playing like my piano or whatever, right? And
Yeah.
then once in a while, I'd go out because I had more time and I'd be outside a lot, right? But then when the pandemic happened, I literally haven't went anywhere. I think the one time I went out, and it's been, I can literally on one hand tell you from March, from when it all started to now, I've only been in the public, like hanging out, maybe 3 times. Of course, I had a mask and
Yeah.
all stuff like that, but before the pandemic, right, going outside seemed normal, everything was fine, nothing changed, right? But then like pandemic, and now I'm in house, and then that's when I decided, oh, you know what, I kind of want to play some video games. I don't have a job, I might as well have some fun, right? And so got into video games, got into like TV shows, got into, and I just stayed inside the whole
Yo,
time.
Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, like
Yeah.
all of that shit
Dude,
went
oh
up,
yeah,
dude.
yeah. Disney Plus was like the new thing. Remember, I don't know if it was. Well, it was new to me. My brother was like, "Yo, I got Disney Plus. We finna watch The Mandalorian, right?"
The man,
And so,
yeah.
yeah, and so I was like, "Man." And then when I finally decided, you know, I'm gonna take a walk because I was scared of getting sick from walking and getting sick from someone who was walking outside too. So I just said, you know what? I need to get out of here. I need to take a walk.
Yeah.
I kid you not, man. That walk was the weirdest feeling that I've ever like. It felt like I was in like a native territory or something. Like I wasn't in yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like I wasn't in like I've always take that walk. I've walked down these streets all the time. Like I have my routine walk, and when the pandemic was in the middle, just taking the walk felt weird. Like it just felt,
It's also the
what am
sense
I
of fear
doing?
again. Like as you're walking down the street, anyone you see is a threat now.
Yeah,
This idea of like now they are the enemy, and
yeah.
man,
Like when
again,
people clear their throat, people freak out, bro.
it's
For real, like or like a little cough, or you drink water, you start choking a little, you know, like people.
I can't even smoke anymore, dude. I'm over here like
And then everyone's like,
people
"Hey,
be like, yo, you got the Rona? It's like, nah, I got that Kush.
for real." Especially like I've noticed that too now because I work for a weed company.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone tells me it's like they ask me, "Do you work at a dispensary?" And it's not a dispensary. I do like manufacturing, I guess, like before the dispensary.
Oh, like the
Uh,
trimming and shit.
yeah, like the trimming, the rolling, and like I'm with the weed like in hand and not in a bottle at the dispensary. But
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, so you know, a lot of people that work there they smoke the ganj, and me, I don't smoke or drink, and
Nice.
what I don't like discourage it. You know, like I could be around it, I have no problem with it, but I
Is there a reason
forgot.
you don't, or like, have you ever just like thought about it, or?
Yeah, I've thought about it. Like drinking. The reason, like I used to drink, not a lot. Just like when I would go perform, they would give me free tickets to get beer or whatever I wanted in the bar was free. It didn't matter how much it cost.
Yeah.
So I would drink one, and then like, you know, after performances, people would buy me drinks because they like my performance or whatever. But I'm not a big drinker in itself, so like I would just baby the drinks anyways. Like I wouldn't even really drink them, but
Sip on it. Yeah.
yeah, because I don't really like the taste of it. It was more just like I guess Oh,
a
here I
courtesy
am.
thing, you
Yeah,
know.
'cause,
Somebody,
I don't want to say no to you. You know what I'm saying? But now I would. But it's like it's a whole different thing now. Because when I in the end of 2019 is when I decided I'm not gonna drink anymore, like ever again. Because I wasn't drinking, but I was heading home with my family, and we got hit by a drunk driver um, at a red light. So like we were just at a red light like this, and this dude, bam, just hit us. And it was a really bad accident. Like I legit thought my whole family died. And so ever since then, the idea of consuming alcohol is like I hate it 100%. I don't discourage people
yeah,
drinking, but if you're drinking and driving, at least if you
no.
know me personally, you know how I feel about that. And I
That's
don't.
great, man. I'm sorry that happened, dude. Is your family okay? Is everything
Yeah, I mean, thank God everything's okay because it would have
okay?
been a lot worse if something were to happen. But yeah, but everything's good with them. But yeah, that's partially the reason why. After that, at the end of 2019, I told myself, um, people can drink, but I'm never gonna drink ever again. Just because like it was my the little bit that I could do, to control that. So like I said, I wasn't even drinking, but it doesn't really matter when someone who, made a selfish choice passes out on the wheel and then almost kills a family of five. So it's like, it doesn't, it's crazy. So yeah, that's why I don't drink. Plus, I never really liked drinking anyways. So it's not even like the
You didn't
hardest
really
thing to
lose
give up.
anything, you know?
Yeah, I didn't really lose anything. But as far as smoking, I don't know. I was just always told, I guess when I was younger, I used to have really bad asthma. Now it's kind of
Mhm.
like, I don't really know if I have asthma now. I only have to use the inhaler sometimes, like if I'm working out too hard. But yeah, it's weird. But when I was growing up, the doctor always used to tell me, I remember this, right? He got on one knee and he looked at me in the face, right? And he was like, if you smoke weed, it'll be bad for your lungs. Take care of your lungs. Like he just said that. He didn't say like, he basically said don't do drugs and don't smoke because cigarettes will destroy you, right? And
Yeah.
so I don't know why, ever since I was little, it just never got to me. Like all my homies smoke weed, all my homies drink, all of like, and it doesn't bother me to be around it. Like I even had friends who know that I don't do that, and like when the bigger homies would try to make me smoke with them, I would have friends like defend me, like, yo, that the homie don't do that, like stop, stop
Yeah,
doing
don't
it.
pressure them, dude.
Yeah.
Like, let them
So
be.
yeah, so yeah, I mean, there was one time where I thought about smoking, bro, because like I work for a weed company, right? So they give
Yeah,
us,
that was like, that's, dude, that's
yeah,
temptation, yeah.
yeah, for real. They give me free weed, and so I don't
Bro,
know,
you
like,
could just imagine having your own business. Like, yeah, I'll
dude,
take it.
yeah, like, well, I just when they give me the free stuff, I give it to my friends, like, you guys can have it. But before I gave it to one of my friends, I don't know, like I've never experienced like panic attacks or like anxiety. Like I've never even thought that was real up until like 2020 and like being at home all day and like freaking out for no reason and like your heart's racing and stuff. So when
Yeah.
I was introduced to that abruptly, like I said, I didn't even know what that was. Like I never believed in it because I never felt something like that. And so when I was working for the weed company, it was a gram of Tropicana cookies, right? And so
Okay, yeah.
I was like, okay,
That's a sativa, bro.
I started freaking out, and I don't know the difference between sativa and like the other ones. So I don't know anything, right? And so for some reason, I just associated with if I smoke this, I'll calm down. But I didn't smoke it. I was really tempted because I just was freaking out, bro. I couldn't relax and I didn't know how to stop. And eventually it went away. But yeah, that was the one time I actually thought to myself, if I rip this right now, I'll feel better. But nah, I never till this day I've never smoked. I'm pretty sure maybe I've got high from like just smoke being
Like,
around me. Yeah, because
yeah, but
like
that's what's up, dude. It's I think that's like you can't miss what you never had, you know. But it's also like it's very strong because some people like I wouldn't want to say they're addicted to it. I don't know if marijuana like I don't think marijuana can be addictive, but I feel anybody can be addicted to any substance, you know.
yeah,
And more than anything, it just becomes habitual use. Like I know friends that they're like, oh, I'm not addicted, but spend like over $100 a week on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
like
it's
I'm
like
not addicted.
over here, I just do it every day, all the time.
Yeah, it's just, it's my coffee, whatever.
And yeah, I know what you're saying, but that's really cool, dude. I think that takes a lot of self control to be able to, and you're doing it obviously for like for health reasons and like because you care about your fam and it's and because you care about yourself. You know, it's this and
Yeah,
yeah, dude, you're saving so much money right now. You're
for real.
you don't even know.
But like I said, I don't frown upon it. Like I don't. When I was younger, I can say that I was probably like that kind of annoying friend where they're like, "I'm trying to help you not smoke every day." Um,
Same. I was religious, and I remember my friends tell me this because like now we're older and we smoke together, but like when it wasn't when I was a young kid and I was like going to church and shit. My friends told me that we were in high school and they were like lighting a joint in front of me and I like slapped it out of my friend's hands. I'm like, no,
you're like, no.
like don't.
Oh
I care
man,
about you. I don't want you to. I don't want you to fail in life. like
for real. I think because a lot of it was because I have a similar story like that. When I was at a skate park one time, and my friend was like, "Yo, he just kept bugging me. It was just me and him at the skate park. Like there was no one else around. So he was really trying to like peer pressure me, right? Like just constant, like here, dude, just take it, dude.
no
And
one's gonna know.
yeah, he's like, I'm not gonna snitch, just try it. And so I got so pissed because I was like, dude, I don't want to do it. So I grabbed it. I pretended like I was gonna do it, right? So I was like, all right, fine, give it to me. So I got it, and yo, I threw it on the floor and I stepped on it. And so like I like a cigarette, you know what I'm saying? Like I squished it. The homie was so mad, dude. We ended up fighting after because he got mad at me. But
That was my
like,
weed, bro.
yeah, we ended up fighting. But it was just like, yo, like I told you 3 times, probably
Respect
ten
people's
times.
decision, man. No
Yes,
means
like
no.
relax. But yeah, I used to be that friend where I would try my best to like, um, you know, kind of get it in your head just a little bit, like, yo, dude, you don't need to do that. But then I think it's because when I got older, I started learning more about it. I think I was just misinformed as far as like, weed's bad. I think certain types can probably mess with you, but I mean, as far as like marijuana goes, I don't really see any bad in it. You know, I mean, it is what
Yeah,
it
it's
is.
funny because I used to be like 420 every day, Bob Marley Blaze it, you know what I mean?
Bar Marley plays it.
But yeah, I'm actually taking a tolerance break right now. I'm a little bit over a month,
Oh, okay.
but it's like the first couple weeks it's hard because it's like something you're just used to. Like after a long day at work, you come home and you just blaze it and just relax.
Yeah.
It's like, but I started realizing that like maybe I became dependent upon it. Like for me, it's like I'm not addicted; it's a habit, right? I'm not a big fan of drinking either because I've lost some friends because of drinking and driving. So I
Uh,
mean, it's this whole thing about. I was thinking about I'm thinking about writing a poem, but the pretty much the phrase is what you don't condemn, you condone, and so
I get you.
the words being condemn and condone. So to condone something is to allow it to almost like advocate for it and to be like I'm like, oh, I'm okay with this, and to condemn is to like to talk down on it, to like put it in script, to be like, no, this is wrong. And so what you don't condemn, you condone. So if there's anything that you're not against, if you're not for it, you're against it, or if you're not against it, you're for it,
Yeah.
Euphoria. But I was thinking about along the lines of like I would condone drinking or drinking and driving because it's like I don't want to ever want to feel like, oh yeah, it's cool, drinking and driving. It's just a little buzz. What could go wrong? It's like, nah, dude, I've lost friends. Please don't drink and drive. If you drink, stay where you're at, or don't drink.
Yeah.
And
I think
so,
it's just like be responsible.
yeah, and same. It's actually become a like my dad's very big on like don't smoke and drive because it's the same ticket price. Like they'll fucking charge you like $1,000 for smoking and driving because it's
Yeah.
still DUI. But uh again, it's like because I used to smoke weed a lot, and so now I'm like taking a tolerance break, and I'm kind of seeing how it has affected me, and how like it's not in a sluggish mood or very
But it does take a toll on like how you're feeling.
yeah, my on my psyche, on my just my ambition overall, where like I feel like on my days off I would like wake up and smoke, and then I would be like, I legit wouldn't do anything, and I wouldn't feel bad about it. But like, and it's not like a need to always be productive, because I feel like that's where
Yeah,
stress also comes from. You know, it's like this hyper productive capitalistic state of mind. Like, wake up, get that bread, man. You gotta always be hustling. You know, it's like,
yeah,
nah, dude. It's okay to just take it easy on yourself. Recognize your needs. Sometimes it's okay just waking up, being alive, just feeling grateful. You know, for what we have. Another day of
yeah,
life. And it's like I always try to have that attitude of gratitude, you know? It's like you wake up feeling blessed. Like no me hace falta nada. Like I have a roof over my head, I have water, I have food, I have people that love me. I have a lot
yeah,
more than a lot of people do, you know? It's not like
for
I
real.
think it's good to have ambition and to try to strive for more, but we should definitely start off at a basis and be like, I'm okay.
Yeah, I
And
think I need to remind myself of that a lot, especially like the toxic stuff that's in social media and like the what success is and like
yeah,
stuff like that. Like I don't know if you ever seen that movie Soul. It's a
I
new
haven't.
Disney.
Oh man, but they've been telling me to watch it though.
Oh man, I was gonna tell you something like very very significant part of that
If
movie.
you could tell me without
Uh,
ruining it.
um, I could just explain it in a different way, not
Yeah,
using the
go for it.
movie.
I'm always down.
Um, so basically, um, okay, yeah. So basically, imagine a kid who just wants to be a rapper, right? And you just want to be a rapper, and then you finally become a rapper. And let's say you want to be a rapper, you're like 13. You finally become a rapper when you're like 38, right? Now you're where you want to be and all this and that. And then you realize it's not where I want to be.
Hmm.
And then you start thinking, like what you said before, like, man, this whole time I've been trying to get this, and like I'm trying to do this because I don't want to be a loser. I don't want to die knowing I didn't do what I said I was gonna do. And then now you're, what is it, like a fourth or a third of your life almost up, and now you're just like, it's not what I wanted at the end. I got it, I did it, but it's not what I thought it was gonna be. That's pretty much the only way I can explain it. But dude, I'm telling you, it's so deep, bro. Top five movie ever in my book because it just hit me like straight in the chest.
The Pixar feels.
For real, yeah. Like I'm not kidding, man. Like that shit really
Man,
got me.
I'll probably watch it after this. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna hit on my sister. Yo, what's your Disney Plus account?
Hey, sure, man. I think Soul is freaking. It's a really good movie. It's a really good movie. I think it'll teach
Yo,
a lot
that's
of
that's
people.
that's crazy though, because it's true. It's like it's the same story told over and over. I believe in like archetypes, right? Which is this whole this infinite cycle, this loop that like I feel humans go through this story, and that like a lot of people repeat it. And but it's the not everything that glitters is gold.
Hmm.
Where people have this idea of success or happiness, it's like that like only once I've attained this, or only once I've gotten to this level, will I feel successful.
Yeah,
And it's we're always chasing the sunset, you know. It's like, and you don't realize that like we forget to look to enjoy our. It's this race, I feel. And man, I have like so many ideas for poems, but I just realized like I'll just talk poetically and everything will be a poem.
yeah,
And so but it's this idea of like everybody's in a race, and they're just running really fast to get to the end. And then once you get to the end, you're like, wow, I fucking missed the scenery, I missed the whole like life, bro. Life is passing you by while you're trying to make a life. And it's like, yo, it just
yeah. It's pretty
there's
crazy.
so the in between, the side quests, you know.
Yeah, and what's also crazy about that movie is that the concept of time.
Mm,
Like remember, 13, 38. Where was your family at the time? Where were you at the time? What were you happy? Did you spend all your time like, oh, I'm at this 9 to 5? and I'm not doing what I want to do, and then you finally got to do it, and now you're thinking, man, I made it, and now I'm doing all this and that, but I haven't talked to my mom in years. I haven't seen my, maybe you have kids, I haven't seen my kids. I haven't seen, you know what I'm saying? Like the concept of time, bro, and like one's quest to be what they call successful. It's, dude, it's pretty scary, you know?
Yeah,
Because
dude,
like you
life
don't
is
know if you get another run.
it passes by in a blink, man. And so I really am trying to, because that's the whole I've always thought about, like what I always want to be like, man, I want to be a poet, you know. I want to eventually like self-publish and get my shit out there and become like, I don't know if I want to be recognized, you know what I mean? Because I've thought about like the idea of fame and just like go where everybody knows your name and to feel. But at the end of
Yeah,
the day, it's really like, as long as I'm loved by a few people, as long as I have the people that are quality over quantity, you know, I
yeah,
want just a handful of people that like I love and that actually listen to my shit, rather than like a lot of people that like, oh yeah, like dab you up or like make you feel like, oh, you're so cool, you know. And it's like, I want people that like truly value you, you know what I mean?
yeah,
And so that's the I think that's successful when you have, you know, it's not like, oh, a small circle, but it's like you have real ones, you know. And I think I
yeah.
would rather have that than be like fucking famous.
Yeah, I think that that's what I got caught up in early on in the music like industry. Was like the idea that I have to make it before I'm 20 and I have to get this much amount of money or this much amount of fame before I'm 22, and then by the time you turn 27, you pretty much can't call yourself a rapper after that if you're not famous because no one's gonna like an old guy rapping. But that's what the social media is telling you. Like that's what you get off of it, and there's really no now. Like I tell you, bro, that movie made me feel like, man, there's no you have to do this at a certain time. You don't have to. It's just life. That's pretty much it. Like it's just whatever you find is successful. Like what do you call successful is what will ultimately make you content with what you're doing and what you're pursuing. So like that's where I got lost, is where my idea of success was that I needed to have like not more so like the fame, but I just needed the money. Like I needed
Yeah.
money to so that I can retire my parents, so that my brothers don't ever have to work, so that I can just it was like that. Like if I could literally still to this day, if I could just get a shitload of money, I don't give a shit if anyone knows my name. Like I don't give a
If I could put
damn.
food on the table, dude, that's the I say goals, dude. Is like, I want to buy my mom a house. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, but not just that. Like I want my kids to be like
set.
set, and I want yeah like their kids to be set. Like for example, I want my kids to have kids to where those kids are like everyone hates them because they're just born rich. You know what I'm saying? I don't want them.
Man,
I
I want them to have a bad life.
don't like
I
you
don't want
know.
them to know struggle.
Yeah, well, yeah. Like I really don't want them to go through the man. I had to do this and this and that. But then at the same time, it builds
It builds
character. You know?
character. You
It
know?
builds like who you are and all that. But like if I can make it's like generational wealth. If I can make
Yeah.
my kids not have it so bad, then I would love to do that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's where I'm at. I changed my perspective as far as like success goes. Like I don't really. It's always been about like I just need money so that my parents don't have to work and can enjoy life. Because like my dad's dad, the hardest working man that I know, paid off two houses from a normal job. You know what I'm saying? And like he
The
passed
economy
away.
was different back then, but you know.
Yeah, and like things were, things like money and like the minimum wage and all that. But it's just sad that he retired and then he passed away. I think like 5 years after. So to me, it was like, man, like
He legit
it.
worked all his life.
Yeah, he legit worked all his life, and it's not a bad thing. It's not even a knock. It's like it's what do you call it? It's like it's inspiring to know that you know what he did that. You know what I mean? Like there's no excuse now. There's
Yeah,
no
dude. He
excuses.
was able to provide for his and for
Yeah,
somehow down the line for you too. You know.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if people think that you can't, like his mentally, I guess, like what success is, he achieved it. You know what I'm saying? Like he did it. He paid off his mom's house. He paid off his. So, hey, man, like that's the coolest shit to me, you know. But of course, like I just wanted to be the one that got it for like the fam, at least for like my in family, and then the rest of the family if I'm not rich, I guess. But
Yeah, I
yeah,
feel like, and now when we're talking about this, is like what success is. It's like if you can do what you love every day, because I've seen you put in the work, man. Like you have like what, 2 albums out, like more, right?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. And I was like, dude, you've been putting in work, and at the end of the day, like that, your work speaks for itself. You know, it speaks volumes. And it's like, even if you're not like as well recognized as you wish to be, at the end of the day, it's like if you do what you love, if you love what you're doing, creative process, if you're able to make even some money out of it, you know, that's you're already on the path, man. Like you love what you do. There's people that wake up and they fucking hate their job. They may be making good money, but they hate their life, and it's like, are you really living? You
yeah,
know. So I don't think it really is all about money. Like I think financial stability, because there's only a certain amount of money that you can make that like you cover all your bases, and then
yeah,
after that is just I feel like excess, which is what a lot of fucking billionaires and like there's a ridiculous amount of money, but it's like not happiness, you know. But it
yeah,
sucks because it's not being properly distributed because of the way the system's corrupt. But I mean, aside politics aside, I really want to be like, if I can do what I love every day, if I can like provide for my fam, if I can provide for myself and for my fam, then I'll feel happy, you know.
yeah,
Like, but it is waking up with like one, I'm blessed already. Like like when I think about God, it's like I couldn't ask for any more. Like I'm glad for like this another day of life. Like when we're talking in soul, like when you're like once you hit 40 or something, that's like a third of your life. And I think about it, and I'm like, you know, some people 40 is their whole life. So for some people, like that's the end or some shit, or like
yeah,
for some people, there's a beginning. But it's this idea of like there is no guaranteed time. We are not guaranteed, and it's like I try to again, it's this metaphor of a clock or a race. It's like
yeah,
it's not like I'm running out of time, where I'm like, oh fuck, I only got 50 years left. Ah shit, you know. It's like it's like
yeah,
I'm at zero, and I'm like, wow, I should have died a while ago. I'm everything that I have from here on out is just excess. Like it's not I'm running out of it. I'm running into it, you know.
yeah.
And so it's
Telling you, that's what
I
I
can
struggled with for sure. Like about the, I'm running out of time, you know.
yeah. What is
Uh,
that? FOMO, fear of missing out.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. But
Yeah,
now, like if you put it that way, like I mean, not to get weird, but you were one of many sperm that could have been possibly born, and now here you are. And I guess isn't it still hard to even like exist, just in like general?
yeah, dude.
So can you
Every
imagine?
day, man, it's a struggle, and it's like we're not alone, you know.
Yeah,
It's like,
and
and even
then
as bad as you have it, or as good as you have it, there'll always be others, you know. And it's like, what can
yeah,
I do with the position that I'm in to like be of service to well help yourself first because an empty cup cannot fill other cups.
that's true.
So you want to fill your own cup first. I've been trying to do that because before I used to be I'm such a giver. No, but
For real.
legit, I would overextend myself to a point where I'm like I want to be a good person. I want to help out others, but I would legit hurt myself and other people that were depending on me because I would try to give so much shit that I didn't have. And
Yeah,
so it's like it got to a point where I'm like, whoa, you don't know anybody anything. Take care of yourself.
for real. For real, for real. Oh man, it's been a good conversation,
Yeah,
yo.
dude. I was like, man, how much time is?
I don't even know what time is it. But damn, I think we're over like an hour and 20.
Yeah, man. Well, whenever you want to call it, dude. Honestly, it's been
Man, so a good conversation is needed, you know, and I could appreciate that for sure.
yeah, man. I mean, I'm not really trying to promote anything. I mean, you could follow me on Instagram or whatever. I do a
Yeah,
poetry thing at 2r0poet or 2r0 because But yeah, I go by that because it's like 2-row.
Yeah, I remember. Got it right here, man.
Oh yeah, I fucking dude, that shit was cool. I was like, that's a studio back there.
Oh yeah, just I put the booth lights on because I was like, I kind of wanted to look cool, but it doesn't look that cool.
Yo, it's GreenSkull. That's what it. That's the vibe I'm getting. I like genuine conversations. I enjoy like just having a without any what is it called? Hidden
Expectation.
intentions. You know what I mean?
Oh
Like I'm
yeah,
not here to sell. I'm not here to like. I just like talking, dude. I
yeah.
talk a
And
lot.
honestly, that's part of the reason why um when we were talking on Instagram, I thought, you know what, why don't I just ask if he wants to be part of an episode? Because, like I said, I remember our good conversation the last time you were here, and then
Yeah,
now we have another one. And yeah, like I don't know. I think a lot of people think that, I mean, of course, this is like content, but I'm not changing myself just to like look better.
appeal.
Yeah, like look better on the content. Like honestly,
Just
um,
who you genuinely are.
yeah, like I try my best to just help everyone out, but also like put something out, just to present something, So yeah, but I mean, so far this conversation is pretty cool. I like how like everything got deep and shit. And honestly, you taught me a lot of stuff. I don't really know, like the way you explain things. I feel like you could probably be like a teacher or something because the way you
And
explain
someday,
things,
you know, I was trying to go into math. It's something I really like.
yeah,
People have told me like, oh, you should totally be a tutor. And I'm like, I think we're all teachers and we're all students.
yeah, we can all teach each other something.
Yeah, like I learned from you too.
For real. Well, thanks again, man, for hopping on. But I am gonna end the call because it's a
Yo,
long
it's
video.
11:11. All
For real, make a wish.
right, Gabriel, thank you so much. MCKG.
All right, bro. Thanks again, man.